Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be quickly walking you through what Open Interpreter is. A lot of people mentioned that this is like the GPT 4.5 version, and in the most simplest of terms, it basically means that it can already do what a lot of GPT 4 can do, but it also can do things beyond GPT 4. And it was released by Killian. So I'm just going to go to the GitHub page now, and I'm going to firstly just quickly take a look at this, right? So it can create and edit photos, videos, PDFs, etc. Control a Chrome browser to perform research. It can plot, clean, and analyze large data sets. It's insane. So it can definitely, look through the files in your computer and then perform operations on these files. Now, the only concern that I have is the amount of things that I'm sharing with this. While it's open source, sure. Do I really want a stranger in that sense to access my documents? I know it's a code running somewhere in the cloud, right? But you are still using your computer to send some data there and then process it in the cloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it in my PC anyways, and over this demo I'd want you to think that is this something that you really want to do. There are two ways you can run this model, right? So the first method is using your GPT 4 API key. The second method is using the open source Llama model. For the first method, it's pretty straightforward. You just need the key and it works. For the second method, you will need to download Llama, which the interface will automatically do, so you don't need to worry about. The third thing, and I think this is probably the most important thing, is you'll need Python installation. So in order to download Python, you need to go to python.org/downloads, and you can download Python from here. And I think it's a pretty straightforward setup, but ensure that there's an option to kind of add Python to your path. You enable that while you're installing Python in your system. So if you already have it installed, you don't even need to worry about it. I think you're all set at. All right, so the overview of what it is clear. Now let's just quickly start running this in our local system. So in order to run this, it's like a library for Python, right? So you need to do pip install Open Interpreter. And the reason I'm even trying this out in the first place, if you look at the stars here on GitHub, it's almost 14k stars, which means that a lot of people do trust this. So I'm just going to go by my gut and the amount of stars there to see if it works. So I'm going to copy this. You need to open your terminal or command line. So if you're on Windows, just do Windows and R and type CMD. This will open the command prompt for you. If you're on Mac, just find terminal. One thing to be, and I'm just gonna run this here. So you need to run pip install Open Interpreter. This will only work if you have Python installed in your computer. If you don't have Python, this will fail. Next, you need to type interpreter to make this run. Now, this is where I kind of want to talk about more with respect to the highlights, right? So if you use OpenAI API key, firstly, I'd never recommend you share your API key anywhere. Now, it's possible that it's just using your local key and not sharing it in the cloud, but it's very unlikely because it's accepting your key and is definitely sending it somewhere for the further processing. So if you are using this to test this in your local system, just ensure that you use it once and then you delete your key from OpenAI ecosystem. The second note on code Llama is that Llama is maybe not supported in Windows as far as my testing goes. So I tried running it using code Llama, but it just gave me an error saying that it's not supported in my system, specifically Windows 1, I guess. So we're just going to go with OpenAI API key for now. I have a sample API key. You can go ahead and copy it. I'm just going to delete it later on. Okay, so the key is set, and it's telling you how to set it on your export. But either ways, I think it's definitely sending key over some sort of cloud. I'm definitely going to delete it as soon as I'm done with this. All right, so I think the interpreter is set. Let me just go to GitHub and see what kind of things we can do. All right, so it's kind of talking about how it's better than the ChatGPT's code interpreter because of the limitations it's bypassing right now. So I just went ahead and tried typing, hi, what can you do? Okay. So it's telling me it can do a bunch of things: writing, running, debugging code, installation, automating tasks, web scraping, and interactivity. The interesting part is automating tasks in your computer. So let's see if we can make it clean my desktop. All right, let's see what it does. Oh, interesting. So it's creating a new file in /desktop cleanup. Let's see. I'm just gonna see if it works. All right, so I had to authorize moving these files. It's checking if I can. Okay, let's see if my desktop is cleaned. Well, it's more. I don't think so. Nope, it didn't clean my desktop. So you can see there's an error here. All right, so that didn't work. So let's see if it's able to access my Google Chrome. Yeah, so it definitely can't access Google Chrome. Let's see if it can open it. Okay, so it's using shell command to start. Oh, it worked. Didn't see that coming. So it can definitely execute some commands for sure. So you can see it did open the Chrome window. Can you open Chrome and go to snappy.ai. Let's see if it can open Chrome window and go to a website. All right, some uprising. You can see it's going to the website too. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's see what else can we do. So it can't access your desktop, but it can run your shell file. Let's say, can you write a code for a basic snake game? Create project folder on the desktop. So one of the assumptions that I am making right now at this point is that it does not have access to my, to make changes to my computer. It's something I'd want to ensure that I don't give, because I don't know the amount of control. While I know it has good amount of stars on GitHub, I still wouldn't want to risk giving access to it. I don't know if it's reversible. If it was offline, maybe I'd have done that, or maybe not. Okay, so it's writing code for the game. I'm checking if there's a folder on the desktop. No, I don't see it. It says it's created a folder under C users admin snake game. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so it's rewriting the code. And the other thing that you need to keep in mind when running this is all of these iterations, especially if you're using GPT 4 API key, they're costing you money. So by the time you decide to shut it down, if it's gone through multiple iterations, it's going to cost you a hell amount of money. So ensure that you keep an eye out on the operations that it's doing, so you don't end up spending too much money. So it's writing code or game. Okay, so let's see if it saves now. Still didn't work. It's very similar to what Code Interpreter offers, only the fact that it's running in your local system with mostly what you would anyways do on Code Interpreter. So I'm just going to stop it here. We get the point. Let's say, and by the way, to stop it, if you're on Windows, just do Control-C, it'll stop. I think on Mac also it's Control-C, it'll stop for if you press both of these keys subsequently. Anyway, so I'm going to stop this and let's see what else we can do. Alright, so I'm seeing if you can send an email to yash@snappy.ai for an affiliate program at snappy.ai. Let's see if that works. Okay, of course, it does require you to set up a SIM. So it's referring to the less secure apps in Gmail settings, which I think is deprecated now. Alright, so let me do one more thing. I have some images inside this folder test, and these are PNG images. Let's see if it can convert these images into JPG. So more on the lines of say file conversion. Let's see if that is possible. All right, so I'm telling it to convert the folder, so the images under the folder test into JPG while they're currently stored as PNG. Let's see if that's possible. All right, so it's installing Pillow in my local system. All right, let's see. So the initial one, this one is used when you're running it on say Google Colab. If you're running it on local system, you need this command, which is why it worked the second time around. Now it's actually going inside the test folder to see if it can find images and then manipulate it to convert into the JPG image. And you'll see that it's kind of pip installed Pillow in your local system, so it's not going to be removing it. So when you're using this is yet another risk, that it'll install libraries and then it will not remove it. So it's on you to kind of remove those data. So be careful with it. And I can see that it's saying that it successfully converted these images, but I don't think so, right? So these are still, you can see the folder is users admin desktop test, did find file names ending with PNG, but didn't save those as JPG. So let's say if I say it's not done. See if it can have a follow-up going on. Let's see if it can try to do another attempt. Alright, so this time around, I think it worked. Yeah, this time around it was able to do that. You see, this is a JPG file. Let's see what different... Okay. Yeah, I think this time it worked. I don't know why, but it did work this time. Alright, and I think that's... Now I went through a bunch of different commands across different categories, and to be honest, it does work great when you want to do file operations in your local system. When you want to do operations that are specific to say your shell, let's say if you can open a specific file, do some research, etc. But it's always going to be installing open source Python libraries to do certain bits. So be careful when you're using this. Would I use it in my local system? At this point, no, because it's very risky to have this running, because I don't know what kind of files it'll download, and it's not like the app is bad. The fact that it's using GPT-4 in the background, and I've noticed that some of the output that GPT-4 throws out, it's not suitable for your use case, right? And if you install this, it's gonna throw in a bunch of different libraries, and if you don't remove those later, libraries are basically installs. You saw one of the pip install, right? If you don't remove those later, they're gonna be problematic. So I'm a bit skeptical to try this out right now, but maybe definitely once, I feel that it's using something like a Llama 2, maybe if it works in my local system or Windows system, then maybe yes, but at this point, not really. All right.